Hello and welcome to today's video on the Motocross Network. Before we get started, I want you guys to head to the mxnetwork.com or click the link in the description and go grab yourself in the issue number 5 of the Motocross Network magazine. We've got friend of the show, Max Anstey, as the cover story. We go into his journey from MXGP all the way coming to America and his rise back to the top of the 250 class. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Only $5.99, and we have cheap shipping rates now, so go snag one, guys. Anyway, in today's show, we'll be looking at the semi-injury update from Ken Roczen. We'll also be looking at Justin Hill, his thoughts on his 450 class podium. Hayden Deegan, he gives his thoughts on his rookie 250 season and his podiums throughout the year. Then we have Aaron Plessinger commenting on his injury and if he's ready for pro motocross. On top of that, we have a special guest for today's video, and that is the fastest privateer in the MX2 World Championship, who currently sits 10th in standings, Jan Pancar. So we'll start off the video talking to him, then we'll get into the news. Let's call up Jan. Hey Jan, thanks for doing this interview today. You've been racing in the MX2 class since 2018. In 2022, you had a career best season, finishing 11th in the championship. So far in 2023, you sit in 10th, thus breaking your record. What would you say is your goal for the season?
Yeah, last year was pretty good, 11th overall at the end. So this year was the goal to be around top 10 at the beginning of the season because I had some knee injury in the winter, so I was not training on the bike for a little, like almost 1 month. So I was just trying to get as much top 10 rides as possible at the beginning of the season and just try to improve race by race and try to be in the second half of the season around that top 5. So that's the goal for this season, and we will see how it will go.
So far in 2023, you've shown some real speed and talent. Out of the 6 races that have taken place so far, you have finished in the top 10 in 4 of them. With that being said, it's obvious you've become a regular top 10 guy. What would you say you can attribute to your recent breakthrough in the class? What has led you from being a mid-pack guy to a regular top 10 contender over the past couple of years?
Yeah, my breakthrough was to come from like mid-pack guy to top 10. It's just that when I was younger, I was always just riding for fun and racing, but I didn't like physically train as I should, and I think that's where I lose a lot of time because a lot of other riders on my level or better were training from like 14, like full gas, and I started training like 3 or 4 years ago to really work every day, train on the bike 3 times a week or something, and have a good winter prep. So I think this is the biggest difference, and just being prepared to race in MX2 because it's difficult. The tracks are always really rough, so you have to be really physically strong, and of course some mental stuff too. But yeah, that's the main thing.
Now, I hear you're not only racing in the top tier of motocross racers in the world, but you're also studying in college at the same time for mechanical engineering. Why are you doing both? Is it a backup plan of sorts, or is it a long-term goal after racing? You have a specific career you intend on getting into?
Yeah, it's true. I'm still in college, so basically it's because when I was younger, I mean like 14, 15, 16, I don't know, like 125 days, I was just riding around top 20, and I was like not really seeing a big future in motocross. I know I had that talent, but I just couldn't be there with the top guys. So I was going to college, so I have like some backup plan or something, but I was always trying to be better in motocross, and so at the end now I'm getting closer to the top guys, and I still have some education, so if anything goes wrong, I have the education so I can work or anything like that. and it's really hard to earn a lot of money in motocross to be like forever rich, so it's always good to have that backup plan, to have the education, to if something goes wrong or just you just get a little bit of money, you still have something to work after, or but it's still a goal to, even if doesn't go everything as I want to be just working something with motocross and not going to some company and work there, but still have a backup plan, so I'm just feeling safer like this.
So you're a privateer, which makes it even more impressive to be in the top 10 every weekend. Do you think you have a handicap of sorts running up against the majority of factory guys in that top 10 group?
Yeah, of course, it's not easy to be privateer in MX2. For sure, the bike is not the same as factory, but over the years, I think the bikes are getting better and better. So even the standard bikes with some modifications, of course, and good suspension is still pretty good. So you can ride top 10, even top 5 for sure. So the bike is for sure, I think I lose a little bit, and factory guys have a lot of people behind them, so it's a bit easier to work on some stuff, to do, I don't know, maybe better suspension. Just they can do anything they want, so they can get easier to that comfort zone, to be riding in just good feeling on the bike and stuff. But still, the bike I have is pretty good, so I think it's still competitive. I can ride at top 10, but for sure, if I would be factory, I could do a little bit better, but it is what it is, and we do our best in privateer life, and we will see what future will bring.
Now, you're aging out of the MX2 class after the season. What would be your goal before going into the MXGP class next year? Do you want to earn a factory ride, or would you do privateer lifestyle again?
Yeah, exactly. It's my last year in MX2, so next year MXGP. We will see how that will go. I'd never really riding with the 450, but maybe it's gonna be even better for me, because I think I'm a bit more precise guy, and a little bit more power would be helpful for me. But we will see. And for the next year, I don't know if it's gonna be privateer life or factory. It's gonna be really hard, because a lot of top guys in the MXGP, and it's really hard to get the factory right. But it's good that I have a really good sponsors, so I can even do it with privateer stuff, and we will see what will bring at the end of the season.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you luck, man. To be a top 10 guy in the most prestigious 250 class championship in the world, all while living the privateer's lifestyle and being in college, is just extremely impressive, brother. Hopefully we see you remain consistent and earn yourself a nice MXGP class ride for next year. Hopefully we can talk to you again soon. Alright, huge thanks to Jan Panzer for coming on today's video. We wish him luck and hope he can get a ride. Now let's get into the news. Our first story of the day, HEP progressive Suzuki rider Ken Roczen had an awesome comeback season on the new bike. Unfortunately, in the final round, he had to pull out of the race early and settle for 4th in the championship standings, tied with Red Bull KTM's Cooper Webb. This was due to Kenny slipping on the slick Salt Lake City racetrack as it was raining, and he ended up tweaking his knee. At the time, it looked like his upcoming 2023 World Supercross title defense was already over. But from the looks of things, Kenny might not actually be all that injured. He might be good. Now, neither Roczen or his team have actually released a proper injury update on him, but Ken did release a video today of him at the Bodybuilding, Cryotherapy, and Chiropractic Care Center today. In his post, Kenny said, quote, "We should be good," with the okay emoji, especially after that treatment at the bodybuilding. Almost fell asleep at negative 220 Fahrenheit. Here's the video he posted. So it looks to me like Kenny's injury was either a minor one with his knee, or if he did say tear something, maybe he's just going to try and make it feel as good as possible to limp through the World Supercross title and maybe even the Super Motocross title at the end of the year between the summer and fall. Who knows if he actually tore anything? I mean, a lot of people believed he tore his ACL, but I mean, at least we haven't seen him in the hospital yet. It looks like he's going to make it through this one, so we wish Ken Roczen luck and hope he's healthy. On to the next story. Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider and recently crowned Rookie of the Year for 250 class, Hayden Deegan. He had an incredible season. In capital letters, incredible. After making the last-minute decision to line up for the opening round of the series in Houston, Deegan went on to secure 3 podiums, his first coming at the iconic Daytona International Speedway, where he finished 3rd. After securing the win in his heat race at the finals in Salt Lake City, Deegan got off to a mediocre start in the East-West Showdown main event, rounding the first lap in 13th position. Now, navigating through slippery conditions, he did fight his way back up the order to finish the race in P8. In a post-race interview, Deegan was asked how his day was and how his rookie season was. Hayden Deegan responded, quote, "Today was really good. We just tried to get everything dialed in during qualifying. I was able to win the heat race, and with the showdown, it was pretty much half the main event for the heat race, so I was definitely excited to win that. It gives me some confidence for next year. In the main event, it started raining and I slid off the gate and didn't get a great jump and had to work from the back. I made my way up to 8th and ended up securing 2nd in the points because Anstey was right in front of me, which is where I needed to finish to get 2nd. So yeah, 2nd in the points, 3 podiums, and 2 heat race wins in my rookie season. I'm pretty hyped about it." Hayden's rookie season was truly one of, if not the best rookie 250 class seasons I've ever seen. I think in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross this summer, he's going to be a weekly podium contender, so the other 250 guys better watch out. The teenage talent now sets his sights on the 2023 Pro Motocross Championship, which is set to drop the gates at Fox Raceway in California on May 27th. All right, the next story of the day is regarding Team Tedder Monster Energy KTM rider Justin Hill and his first 450 class podium. Hill last competed in the series in 2020 with Moto Concepts Honda. However, the final round in Utah that year would mark his final race before returning to the start line at Anaheim in January this year. Now, in that period of time, Justin went to the police academy and became a sheriff, and he basically lived off the map, man. I mean, he was never on Instagram, never anywhere. You didn't hear from this guy, so it was actually hard to find out that he became a sheriff. I believe Pulp MX was the one to report that, but yeah, he did become a sheriff. Now, the former 250 West champion slowly progressed throughout the season, notably finishing the final 3 rounds of the series inside the top 5. Despite the field being depleted with all the injuries, there were sure signs that Hill had clicked with his team. Hill was asked in a post-race interview to comment on his incredible comeback season and first podium. Hill said, quote, "To be honest, I didn't really know where I stood after being out of the series for so long. I didn't know where I was going to be. I didn't really think a podium was on the table, especially after the first few rounds where I was like, okay, I've got a lot of work to do. But ultimately, my goals were kind of reached, and then the goalpost just kept kind of moving. Then by today, I knew I wanted the podium. Bad. Last weekend too. I've been feeling good since New Jersey. That was really where my qualifying time was good. Everything started to come around, and that's when I knew it was time to get on that box. I always believed in myself. I think I'm as good as anybody, truly. And if I put in the work and keep it up, we'll get it." It certainly was cool and really awesome to see Justin Hill back on the podium after many years of him, or since he's been a top 250 class contender. And I'm not even sure if the team will be heading to Pro Motocross or not this summer, but if they do, he's going to be a top contender, and if they don't, next year in Supercross, he surely will be a top 5 guy. I thoroughly believe that. All right, our final story of the day is regarding Red Bull KTM rider Aaron Plessinger. As you all know, Plessinger got hurt a couple weeks back, I believe in East Rutherford, and he has since sat out. Well, this weekend, AP apparently has been feeling good enough to come back, and come back did he. Plessinger looked really good all day in Salt Lake City and ended the day with a 2nd. Plessinger was asked about his injury and his podium in a post-race interview. Plessinger responded, "It feels good to cap the season off with a podium. Obviously went down a few weeks ago and didn't know if I was going to make it back. The first day I was back, I only made it 13 laps and called it a day. Then I did half a day outdoor riding after that. Then we're back at it, so still a little sore, but yeah, it was a crazy day. Plessinger was then asked to comment about pro motocross and if he will be healthy enough to race it and where he thinks he'll stand. Plessinger said, quote, "I would say by the time outdoors gets here, I'll be ready. I can do 2:35s right now, but how fast? I'm not sure just yet. We'll have to get to Palo to see, but I'm pumped. Pumped to get Supercross over with and be headed to outdoors. I'm ready for a long, hot summer. I'm ready for it." Aaron Plessinger has definitely made some improvements this season, but I think he's faster in pro motocross, so maybe we'll see a new level of AP this summer. Maybe a podium contender week in and week out. Alright, that's all the stories I've got for you today. If you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow on Spotify. If you want to support me directly, go grab a magazine. We work really hard on that. And you guys nearly sold out the last issue, so let's do that again. Anyway, thanks for watching. Big thanks to our guest privateer MX2 rider, Jan Panzer. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video.